So when I am viewing clients at times, I will see them just moving weight with no thought of what they're actually doing. And it starts to stress me out because I think in my mind, they're creating a bad habit around the exercise that they're performing. And so I think it becomes important, not just me as the trainer, but them as the trainee, to really begin to think about what they're doing in that exercise so that they can create a good connection between what their mind and their body is doing. So when I say mind-body connection, what I mean is think about the muscles you are training. For instance, if we're in the chest press, then really begin to think about the triceps that are working. Obviously, your front head of your shoulder here is going to be getting hit, but your chest here. So if you can really begin to think about while you're in there training those muscles, think about them so that that connection becomes stronger, and so that you know you're using the right muscles to move that weight instead of just like, oh, I'm going to get it out because it's so heavy and hard, and then you're using all sorts of other muscles and twisting and, compromising your safety just to move a weight. And, the joke is people to say, well, if you didn't set it so heavy, then I could do it better. No, if the connection between your brain and body was stronger, you would be moving it properly and not be shifting and trying to do all sorts of other things to get that weight to move. It's sometimes we don't want to feel, again, going back to that discomfort, we don't want to feel the discomfort of properly going through a range of motion that feels uncomfortable when you're going slow and controlled and using proper form and really thinking about those muscles that you're working. What I see is why people use improper form is because of the discomfort that happens when we're exercising. And so as part of bypassing the discomfort, we start to use the improper form to get the set over with. So the downsides of using improper form, number one is injury. But number two is you're weakening the signal between your mind and your body. So if you are using proper form, your body is going to start to remember that. And then over time, as you move through that range of motion, your body's going to go like, oh, I've done that. And so it won't matter if you set a light weight or a heavy weight, your body knows what to do because that connection becomes really strong over time. But if you've developed a habit of using bad form and not really giving a care, and then it also creates that bad habit over time, and that's the one that gets signaled more. I think it is harder to undo a bad habit the longer you have been doing it. So it's often, even when clients come in and if they're new to weightlifting, they say, oh, I'm going to be so bad. And I say, no, this will be better because I'm not trying to undo any of your bad habits. So when someone comes in new, I can help them create good habits and not have to undo maybe a lot of the bad habits they were doing on their own. What I think people can do over time to develop that connection is just really begin to think about the muscles that you're trying to train. So again, if we go back to like the chest press, really think about like, I want my triceps stronger. So I'm going to think about my triceps while I'm doing this exercise. Or I really want to focus on my chest. So I'm going to think about my chest getting taxed hard while I'm going through this motion. Putting a hand on someone's body takes them back to their body to remind them that they're not just going through some motions. So there are times where I will touch, someone's body, and it just makes them aware of where they maybe need to feel it. I think over time, your body, as it begins to get stronger and those signals begin to get stronger, then the exercise will actually become easier even as the weight is increasing. Because as that signal is stronger, then you're able to push more and more weight without so much effort. The inroad you're creating within the muscle is becoming stronger and stronger the more you're able to send that signal to your muscles to tell them to fire. As that signal becomes greater, you're able to fire your muscles more rapidly. That doesn't mean just quicker, it just means as that signal is stronger, the muscle is just going to fire. I think about the muscles, but the muscles just fire because they've done the exercises so many times, and the muscle thinks, I know what I'm doing. I've done this. Over time, like your mind just becomes equally as strong as your body. That mind-body connection is a real thing that when you sit down in a machine, and if you've been training a specific way for a certain amount of time, over time, the muscles just fire that much quicker because they've done the thing so many times. So without even a thought at that point, your muscles just fire. At the end of the day, if you are sending that signal, you will get a better result over time. And you will create a habit that over time is not going to cause injury. If I was to set this at like 380, which is way beyond a weight that I could actually pull, but because the signal is so strong, my body will at least make the motion. You know, like even though it won't be able to complete the rep, my body knows to send the signal. Right now that I've gotten in the machine, it's like, okay, you're going to work these muscles. I know what to do. Therefore, I'm going to fire even even as I try to like pull, my body is trying to connect and make that connection because it knows what to do, even if it's a weight that I can't complete a rep on. But when you have that strong connection, your body will at least attempt to make that happen. The connection between your mind and your body is what makes you stronger. When that neurological connection is strong, you are strong physically. So if I can just go in and act like the machine, then that connection is just becoming that much stronger because I'm just thinking, I'm just in here to complete this and to do this and to get my body stronger. I kind of drop everything else off at the door. So the next time you're at the gym and you're doing your strength training, really just begin to think about like whether it's the seated row, the chest press, the pull down, the shoulder press, any of these ones, leg press. Just really begin to think in your mind, what am I trying to achieve? Like, what do I want to have happen? What are the muscles I'm trying to focus on? And that kind of brings your mind and body together. If you have questions, you can leave me a comment or you can reach out to me on my Instagram at All Women Have Muscles.